Hey guys, Ryan here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a replay in the Object 268 Tier 10 Soviet turretless T-Day. I've gone over the 268 before, it's one of my favourite vehicles. I like to play it a bit like a Tier 10 Yazi, like the Tier 8 Premium Chinese tank destroyer. This thing has great camo and can snipe, just like a Yazi, but I prefer to play it a bit more aggressive. It's got good speed, and in this game, it is only Tier 10s and 9s, no Tier 8s to speak of. I'm doing Felix in the Z5, and already on this map, which is good for TDs and sniping, I've decided I'm going to head to my side of the map's little hill where lots of people like to snipe from. Not to shoot, but to try and put up my binoculars and get an initial spot if any of their mediums try to do the scout run across the centre. And the reason I'm doing that is, I already know that I'm going towards the town, and the reason I know that is because Felix is off to the town. So I'm going to join him over there, but to begin with, I'm going to try and get the scout and run while he just takes his time getting over there. Just get a feel for the mobility of this vehicle. As I said, in most tanks in the game and in most scenarios, speed really does help in most situations for spotting, relocating to get away from people, to get shots at people. The speed is ideal in this game. And that's why I don't mind not having a turret so much in this vehicle, because it's fast. I'll let my binos go up. Binoculars are up. And I'm thinking about taking a blind shot, which I do eventually take. Now I turn around to go join Felix, and right as I do, and then he gets spotted, but oh well, nothing I can do about it. Now, there's going to be something in this game that I didn't know, so I'm going to learn something new here. And as you go towards the town, there is a set of trees, and you can quite clearly see through the trees. There's not much of a gap, or sorry, there's quite a bit of a gap between them, so you can see through the trees at the other side. But these trees act as cover, as if you're behind a bush or something, meaning you can shoot through them without getting spotted. And what I mean by that is, as I'm about to go join Felix here, he's going to run into some trouble. And by that I mean, he's about to run into 3 Tier 10 heavy tanks, a 279A, a Super Conqueror, and an E5. So as I'm getting to position to go join him, it turns out that me following at a decent distance behind is actually going to help us out here, because as he spots them, I'm going to load the heat because of the 279A. I'm going to try and find a position to shoot, and you'll see the tree I'm talking about right in front of you there. You can quite clearly see through them, but look at the distance I'm at, 200 meters, and I can shoot and not get spotted. As well as that, Felix get all the assistance from this. I had no idea these trees act as a concealment. But at the moment, it's actually, I'm really glad it does, because now I can get easy shots into these people. 850 alpha on average, you see I rolled for 940 there. I damaged E5's ammo rack. That's important because he's actually used his perk to repair his ammo rack, and the reason I know that he's repaired his ammo rack is because the next shot I fire at him damages his ammo rack again. So right now I'm just kind of wasting heat shells because the 279A's backed off, so I don't actually need the heat here. To be fair, I don't really need the heat for a 279A. I do have the penetration to go through him, but obviously his angles make it quite awkward, and heat deals with angles better. So the heat shells just mean that if my shot deviates to the left or right on the upper hull of a 279A, I still have a decent chance to pan. Finally get the E5, Felix is down on hit points. So I've decided I'm going to push him with him, and basically when it comes to 279A and Super Conqueror, I'll take the shot and try and bounce, and then he can shoot, because he's already taken damage this game. Felix gets another nice shot into the Super Conqueror. Super Conqueror returns to the favour. And I've got the heat loaded still, and that's actually going to come back to bite me in the ass. Because the Super Conqueror's going to be slightly angled as I come up here. Then I'm going to quick look at the team situation. And our team has quite an interesting position on the map. I come over, my tracks absorb the shot, but unfortunately his tracks and side armor also absorb the shot. So you see I've changed back to AP. Super Conk has tracked me. The Super just fired, I just heard it and saw it, and now I've got the AP loaded. Much easier shot. 2790 puts a heat shell into me. I don't care at all, he can fire all the heat he wants because my heat is better than his, so... Push forward, aim for the upper hull, big shell straight through the front. Teammates come up behind, and Felix finishes him off. So now back to AP, and now we need to decide. Do we push towards their base, or do I push back towards our base to defend it? And I'd remove him. I'm going to decide that, as is usually the case with me, I'm going to go for the damage over the base cap. And also, trying to cap the base would not be good for me because I don't have any view range. Even with binoculars, it's not the greatest, although I do have good camo, but obviously they have medium tanks and they could have TDs up on the hills. So I decided too risky to go for their base. And now I just need to pick what route I want to take to get back. So over the map, I see lots of enemies at the top left. So I've decided I'm actually going to go through the center of the map, through the frozen riverbed, to try and join our team up north. We still have a chieftain at base who's been sat there the entire game. Which is, you know, fine. I suppose the chieftain's got really accurate gun and good DPM, so sniping's not the worst thing, but he could be being a bit more used right now. I load high explosive because I'm expecting to run into one of the waffles. Or at least I'm expecting RTD in front of me to spot a waffle. See, I keep opening up the map, constantly checking where the team is and where the enemies are that we know of. And these high explosive shells are no joke on this. 1100 alpha damage and 90 pen, I believe. So even if I don't see the waffle, one of these into a medium tank will still hurt a lot. So I'll look back to the AP because it's a Patton and 2 Conquerors up here. So I'm just going to take my chances and assume I'm not going to run into the waffle. Again, very big map, so it just takes a bit of time to relocate on this map. And if I was into like an E3, this would not be a very fun game for me. Now our 50 TP is going to be holding the defense against these lot. He's not rushing in, he's staying in a decent position. It's really good. And the M46 Patton even comes around the corner and then quickly backs up. Now, I do run into the waffle. Thankfully, he's on low hit points, so I don't actually need a high explosive shell to finish him off. Now that's dealt with, I can carry on my journey to go help the 50 TP. Felix is here too. And we can push in. Now I'm going to make a mistake here. I'm not too familiar with the maps and the locations. As I come up to try and get a shot at the Patton, he's in cover, and it turns out the Conqueror can't actually hit me. So I missed the Conqueror, he hits me, the Patton gets a shot into me. Now that my lower plate's hidden, I actually feel fairly confident bouncing the Patton. I'm just keeping an eye on to make sure the Conquerors don't have shots at me. Gonna try and sneak a shell in on the Patton. I do unfortunately miss, I think. And now I'm backing up, because this isn't the greatest position for me to be in. The low gun depression, no turret. I'm going to try and find a better angle. And we're actually down on tanks now, and they have twice as many tanks as us. Which is not ideal. You see, I'm trying to find an angle to aim down on them. But you see, I do see the shell come in, and I've decided, 268, he's a one-shot for me. We're outnumbered, I have to take the risk. He can one-shot me, I can one-shot him, but I need to do something. So I'm just going to pop over and let the chips fall where they may. He misses, I don't, so the risk paid off. But right now we just have to lower the numbers. Felix manages to pick up the Patton. And I think our 50 TP picked up one of the Conquerors. Oh no, Felix picked up the Patton and both Conquerors are still alive. Now the Chieftain actually picks up the Conqueror kill from across the map, so that's actually a pretty good shot by him. I said he's still playing extremely passive, but, you know, as long as he's hitting people, it's not the worst thing. Now, I'm going to come around here and I'm going to stop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the 50 TP and see who has more health. If I have more health than the 50 TP, I'll take the shot for him. If he has more health, I'm going to wait till he goes round. So I give the Chieftain a quick ping, because he's got full health, so he'd be quite useful over here. And then we look 50 TP. And I think he goes forward anyway. Takes the shot. Now I can just go around, take my time, and finish him off. But yes, we don't have the most hit points here, and there is an E100 in play, so he can one-shot me if he high rolls a little bit. He can one-shot the 50 TP. It'd just be kind of nice if the Chieftain would use his hit points a little. Now we're coming up with a waffle. He disappeared from view right as the 50 TP fires, so 50 TP does pick up the kill. And I'm going to use my last heat shell, aim for the turret, and I do go through. And go for the TVP that's shooting at me. Thankfully his low penetration and this thing's decent armor, especially at long range, actually holds out. And again the Chieftain picks up the 80 health kill. Now, I'm going to load high explosive because it's a TVP. Doesn't have the greatest armor. So 90mm pan should be able to go through him. I do get spotted. Again, this is where the view range issue of being a TD comes into play when you're fighting against a medium tank, especially like a TVP, which is 410 stock view range. So all I can do is close the distance, because the Chieftain has no intention of trying to spot here. I do spot him, he's on 500 hit point, try to snap the shot. Doesn't work. He breaks my gun actually, which is quite annoying. Thankfully, teammate does actually hit the TVP. Because when I saw him on 580 hit points, I thought I might as well just load an AP shell because I can one-shot him with the AP. Now, because he's on 180, I'm going to keep the high explosive loaded because now I don't even need to pen him to kill him. I'm confident if I hit him anywhere, he will die. And that means I don't have to worry about RNG getting in the way, because it is possible that I could bounce off his turret, I could bounce off the front of his tank, his tracks could absorb my shot. So now he's on low hit points, I've got the HE, I can avoid the that aspect of the RNG. Of course I can still miss. And there's the very small chance his gun could actually absorb my high explosive shell. Now at this moment I realise it's not clever to chase after a TVP. You can outspot me, so I'm going to try and regroup with the 50 TP. So it's just TVP and an E50 left on the enemy team. Now, the last time the E50 was spotted, he was actually AFK. And if I'm lucky, he still will be, because two mediums against me and a 50 TP, especially with the 50 TP being on low hit points, it's going to be an issue. TVP finishes off the 50 TP, but Felix lets me know that the E50 appears to still be AFK. So I know I can focus all my attention on the TVP. And as we come up here, the TVP is going to make a huge mistake. Trying to get the Chieftain to move, he's got no intention of doing so. And the mistake TVP makes is as he comes over, he stops. And that is going to be the death of him. And now as he finished off the E50, I can't quite remember whereabouts his tank was. Gonna come out, let my binos go up, but thankfully I don't actually need it, and just high explosive shell into the arse to finish him off. And in this game, actually a lot of my teammates came up clutch. The Chieftain just sniping did alright, I suppose, but we could have used his hit points. Our 50 TP did good, our Conqueror did good, and Felix did good because he did a lot of spotting for me. But really, without that 50 TP towards the end, probably wouldn't have been able to win this. So 27,000, almost 28,000 silver, 6,500 damage, 1,000 assistance, 960 blocks, 7 kills for the high caliber ace tanker with a devastator. So overall, I love this tank. Big gun, fast, accurate, great pen, and alright armor as well. Just a good all-rounder. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.